Good afternoon. Good morning, technically. It's not quite noon yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just finishing getting set up to begin day 2 of Wrath of Khan. We got a great day ahead of us. I hope you guys decide to join us. And I'm going to be starting shortly with some magic and illusion. Just stay tuned. I'll be right back. I got to get some things kicking on this side, and then I'll be with you about noon to get things rolling. So stay tuned. Okay, everything's set and good to go. Hopefully, some people will filter in because this is magic. Magic does not work well with just one person. Um, Forgive the angle. Some of you may be wondering why you don't get to see my pretty face or my ugly face, as you may see it. But at least the first few tricks I'm going to do are visual and are going to require you to be able to see the props I'm working with. I mean, I could do this really cool, cup and ball routine, and it'd be really amazing. But if all you can see is my face and not the cups and the balls, it's not going to be that amazing for you guys. It's like you can ooh and ah and go, oh, that's so cool, but you're just being polite. You want to actually be able to see the magic. So I'll be on for about the first hour, and then my friends Lilith, Laura, and her husband, Micah, aka Baron Mind, will be joining us, and then we'll have a bunch more. We have a bunch more today. We including Brian McKinley, the Godfather of Vampire Thrillers, is going to be on. Cyrus the Skeptic of the YouTube channel, the same name, is coming on. Baron Voltage is going to be coming on, talk about the nature of fear. Then we get the vampire panel towards the end of the day, where John French and Patrick Thomas should be coming back to join us to a big group discussion on the undead. And then, of course, eventually we will have our closing ceremonies. And we will have survived the first Wrath of Khan. I am proud to say, looking over the numbers from yesterday, we had about 120 viewers yesterday. I would have liked to be higher, granted, but I'm actually pretty happy that we have actually hit 100 in the first day. Maybe, if you guys are watching this, share it with your friends. Even if, it's not May 17th, keep in mind these videos will be up pretty much forever. So you're always welcome to come back and watch them again, watch them for the first time, share them, like, comment, subscribe. And I'm certain that Save the Children or Chosen Charity is going to still need help. Because sadly, while there are many great charities in the world, there's a shortage of money for those charities. Let's see. Well, outside, the first effect illusion I'm going to be doing isn't an audience participation type of thing. So I don't need a whole bunch of people. Actually, the first couple aren't, I should say. So we will, in fact, get started at noon. The moment I'm just filling time. Sadly, I'm not Brian McKinley, so I don't have keys to jangle in your face and go shiny, 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 shiny until it's time to start. So you're just going to have to put up with me talking and look at all the various interesting props around me and wonder, ooh, what's he going to do with that? Oh, good. And we got more people filing. Excellent. Good. Like I said in descriptions. And I said earlier, this is a very much an audience participation kind of thing. Not all of the tricks are going to require input from you guys, but a lot of the better ones are going to require input from you guys. It's not going to work so well if I'm just standing here going, think of a car, think of a number, think of a number. Is there anyone out there who's thinking of a number? It'll work much better with even just we got 3 people on so far. That's excellent. Hopefully, when we get to the tricks that require audience participation, we can get 1 or 2 more. If not, 3 will work. So let's get this show on the road, because since it is now officially 12 noon. For those of us just tuning in, welcome to Wrath of Khan Day 2. We survived Day 1. Hopefully, we'll survive Day 2. We've got more cool people online, coming online across the day. You can go to the website. It's in the description if you want to see who. I want to remind everybody to support Save the Children, which is a worldwide charity organization working to help children in need. It's particularly helping to fight the coronavirus epidemic that we're experiencing right now. This is why we chose it. The reality is kids need help. If you don't have money, I totally understand. But always remember with charities, even sharing it around Facebook, YouTube, things like that, that'll often help it out, because times are tough for just about everybody. But if you know somebody who has a couple extra bucks, even if you don't, maybe they can help them out. Remember, I am not asking for donation, or for this channel. There will never, I'm never going to put a Patreon link on this channel. That is not the purpose of this. If the time comes when it gets enough subscribers, I can do ad revenue. I may do that, but there will never be a Patreon link. The other thing I want to remind folks of is that if you do like what's going on here, I'd recommend you look at the Paranormal Encyclopedia YouTube channel, which is a link to in the description as well. It's my usual YouTube channel. The guests that you're seeing over the course of yesterday and today have all been guests on there in the past. They will be in the future. So if you like what they're doing, you'll probably enjoy seeing their interviews. There's other people that weren't able to get involved this week that have been on. There will be more people in the future. But at any rate, as those of you who watch Paranormal Encyclopedia probably know, and those who don't are about to find out, aside from being a ghost hunter and a demonologist, I am a bit of a magician. I am not Arthur Moyer from last night. I do not summon spirit. I do not work with spirits. Well, neither does he, to be fair. But I don't do spells. I don't do the occult side of magic. I do stage magic. And because I'm a magic geek, and I've got you guys happen to be here and up, I love you for being up at 12 noon with me. I want to do some magic for you. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. So let's get started. So, you ever have a problem? And I have this problem all the time. You get thirsty, right? Am I right, folks? People get thirsty. But sometimes all you got is 1 little cup of milk. That's not very much milk. But if you don't have enough milk, sometimes there's a little something you can do. Because as you can see, I may have only 1 small glass of milk, but I have larger glasses. And if you're lucky and you know exactly the right way to do it, turn that 1 small glass of milk into one of almost the same size. And you turn that one to an even larger one. And if you're very, very lucky, that 1 small glass of milk can turn into a much larger one. Clop. That's milk for you. Sometimes you just need to know the right trick to get the slightly larger glass to hold what you had. I will show you one of my favorite tricks as well. One of the oldest tricks in magic, in fact. So the cup and balls is a very old routine. How old is it? It's even older than me, believe it or not. Well, I'm only 43. That's not, I suppose, that surprising. That said, though, cup and balls goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. We're talking 4,000 years. They've actually, seriously, they found depictions of various tricks of this sort on pyramids that are that old. This is one of the best known tricks in magic. A lot of magic sets include some variation on the cup and balls. And most of them, not all of them, actually involve some kind of trick. Either there's an extra ball, there's a trick with one of the cups, there's some mechanism that allows them to manipulate things the way they want to. I'm not disrespecting that. That's a perfectly valid way to do cups and balls. I prefer a slightly different technique, which is one I learned actually from a Chris Angel DVD. And this only requires 1, 2, 3 balls. And again, my hands are clean. I don't have an extra ball hiding. But 1, 2, 3 cups. Solid cups. No funny business. Just 3 metal cups. 3 knitted balls. So here's what we're going to do. Take a ball, put it in this hand, and go, and it's gone. And we're going to take a ball, put it in this hand, and it's gone. We're going to take one more ball, and we're going to just give it a drop. And that ball's gone too. So the question becomes, where are the balls? The answer, of course, is 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that shows up okay in the camera. So we're going to take a ball. We're going to put it under a cup. We're going to take a ball. We're going to put it under a cup. We're going to take a ball. We're going to put it under a cup. Oh, good, that did show up. So now we have 1 ball under each cup. What I'm going to do is take this ball, take this ball, and now, no balls under these cups, but 3 balls under the center cup. And yet again, you can see there is no extra balls. There's no tricks to the cups. Just 3 balls, 3 cups. So I can see I've got folks listening in for me. Is anyone awake out there? Or is anyone enjoying themselves? Any life? Anyone want to make a comment? We're getting towards where we want to be a little more interactive today, so some signs of life would definitely be useful. And it just occurred to me that my next trick has a potential problem in the way that I would usually perform it. But I think there's a workaround. Anyone out there a fan of Ghostbusters? Before anyone gets into fights, let me be clear. When I say Ghostbusters, I'm talking about the original one with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. There should be Dicebotch and Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson. Not the remake. Because whatever you think of the remake, what I'm talking about isn't in the remake, so that isn't necessarily going to be helpful. But in parapsychology, which is the study of psychic phenomenon and similar things, there's an old way of testing. Actually, I don't need the view of that, so why don't I do this? Now you can see my ugly mug. But in parapsychology, there's a very traditional test for what we call telepathy. Telepathy is the ability to read or communicate mind to mind. And this test is known as the Zanier telepathy test. It involves a deck of more or less like playing cards with 5 symbols. You have the circle, the cross, the star, 3 wavy lines, and I meant to grab a square to show you, but I forgot, so here we go, and a square. So, the normal way that this particular routine would be done, either as a legitimate test of telepathy or as a magical effect, would be that I'd hold the card up, have you all focus on the symbol on the card, and then tell you what you were thinking. And hopefully get it right. That's always a good goal in these things. The problem is, as you all probably are aware by now, there is a slight delay between what I'm doing and what you're seeing. So, well, I could certainly do it in such a way that I could just go, well, okay, I'm doing it fast enough that that isn't what's going on. I don't want anybody to think I'm cheating. I don't want anybody to think this is being done the easy way, because that's no fun. So then what am I going to do with this deck of cards? How am I going to know? How am I going to do it in a way that is going to appear fair to you, my audience? I have a solution. So, I've mixed it up, as hopefully you've seen. I'm going to go, Dicebotch, if you can help me, or anyone else in the chat wants to help me out, I'm going to go like this through the deck. You're going to tell me when to stop. Oh, wait, that's not going to work either. So, okay, I'm going to cut to a point at least in the deck. Right? So, we go here. This is probably a good one. So this card right here, not this bottom one, because that would be too easy, but this card right here. The goal of this particular effect is for me to see the future and tell you what's on this card. You can see I'll hold it up, or here, let me hold this one up. So you can see that the cards are not see-through. It's not something like that. I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to put this one down just again to keep it fair and make sure that nobody's thinking I'm doing something funny. This card. And feeling that this card is a very feels like motion. It feels like the number 3, but in motion. I'm going to go with the 3 wavy lines. And again, you can see yourself. It's a solid card. I'm going to go and randomly through again. And we're going to do this card. Can I yet again predict what's on the face of this card without looking at it? Just so there are 5 symbols. Each symbol repeats 5 times for a total of 25 cards. So even, for example, knowing that symbol doesn't mean I know what's on this one, because there's still 24 there's still 24 different cards, 4 of which are a symbol other than this. That said, I get a feeling that this and this are the same symbol, because this card just keeps going round, 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 round. I get around. So I'm 2 for 2. I hopefully think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to go, let's see if I can do it again. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. And I just think I saw how to switch this to the telepathy method. We've got a new card. I am going to close my eyes and hold it up to the screen. And you're all going to focus on it. And I'm going to tell you what you're thinking. Ready? See, eyes are closed. In fact, no peeking, Kevin. Does everybody see the card? I hope so, because I can't see if I have it in the right angle for the camera. Is everybody focusing on the card? Because if you are, and if my impressions are right, guys, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, people who are watching this, either this is a square, or you're all a bunch of nerds, or both. Am I right? Well, you know what they say these days? It's hip to be square. Give it a shuffle. Give it a shuffle. I got 3 people in the chat. I'm definitely going to move on from this after a couple more, 1 or 2, maybe 3 more tries. But I'm definitely going to need some help for the next one. Because the next one, if you guys don't join in on the fun, I'm going to be lost. Let's see. Here we go. Here. You know what? I'm going to cut it again. There we go. I've got another card ready to go. I'm yet again going to close my eyes, cover my eyes, hold it up to the screen, and we're going to try to see if we can do a little mental telepathy right through the internets. Are we ready? Eyes closed. Hand over eyes. Now, is everybody focusing on that symbol? And don't bother. You can say yes in the chat if you want. Just keep in mind, I can't see you. No, I think somebody out there is okay. Clearly, some of you are focusing on the symbol. Somebody out there is stop thinking about that. You're distracting me. Seriously, and you might want to consider some help. I mean, come on. But once I break through that distraction, hey, now you're a rock star. Get your game on. Hey, now you're an all Dar? One more. One more, and then we'll move on to some other things. One more. I feel like this one's my lucky one. Are we ready for the last attempt to do mental telepathy live on YouTube? I hope we're going to do it whether you're ready or not. One last card. Okay, eyes closed. Hand over eyes. Focus on that symbol. Focus on that symbol because that's a number of symbols depending on the way you look at it. For example, to Christians, that's a religious symbol. To mathematicians, that means we're adding some numbers together because that's a cross or plus sign, isn't it? And that ends the first demonstration of mind reading by myself today. So where do we go from here? How about a little mind, to shamelessly borrow from one of today's later performers. Let's try a little mind control. I'm going to try and make you all think of a number. Actually, I'm going to save that for scrap. Yeah, this will work. I'm going to give you away again. Okay, so folks, I want you to think of a number. Everybody watching this now, think of a number. I'm trying to make you think of the number I want you to think of. Now, there are a couple of restrictions, because if I make you think of any number in the universe, this is going to go on all day. Because I'm good, I'm not that good, for God's sake. So there are literally an infinite number of numbers out there. So let's narrow it down a little, shall we? I want you to think of a number between 1 and 50. Now, the number that you're thinking of, let's narrow it down. Let's think of a number that's between 1 and 50, where the two digits of the number are different numbers. So don't come up with 11 or something like that. And each of the two digits needs to be an odd number because I'm an odd person, obviously. So number between 1 and 50 with two digits that are not the same number that are both odd numbers. If you're listening now and are in chat, or if you're listening later, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to comment in chat or in the comments. Are you thinking of the number either 35, or sometimes the problem with mind control is it's not always precise. So some of you may have hit on 37. Anyone who's thinking of the number 35 or 37, let me know in the comments or in the chat. And if you're not, let me know what number you are thinking of. I want to see how far I missed by. Let's see. What else? Oh. Let's see if I haven't. This rope I haven't used it in a while. Let's see if I can still get it working. But hopefully I can hypnotize this rope and make it resemble a very happy guy by doing. Come on, come on. It does not want to cooperate today. By making it hard. It's not always the most obedient of ropes, but when it works just right, I can get it to stand up and pay attention. Good boy, good rope. Okay, so Chippy Dice Botch, since you're the only person I'm getting any livelihood. Okay, anyone in the chat other than Chippy Dice Botch, because I can do this with just one person, but it will work much better if I have more than one victim. And this is going to be, hopefully, one of the most elaborate effects I can do. Because I'm going to try and teleport something right through my computer screen to one or more people in the audience, then have it teleport back. Okay. Sorry, folks. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty going on there. The internet cut out for a second because the internet hates me. What else can I say? Why is it not? Why is it? There we go. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out yet, I just had a little bit of a technical glitch. The internet hiccuped. Also, unfortunately, while the technical glitch was going on, I realized that this is all streaming to Paranormal Encyclopedia when it clearly should be streaming to Wrath of Khan. That's not great, but I will go ahead and fix that after I'm finished with the magic routine. We're going to finish the magic routine a little early just so I can get it straightened out, and then I'll wind up switching it back over to Wrath of Khan where we should be, and I'll download this from Paranormal Encyclopedia and upload it to the right page. So, like I said, we're going to do a trick, a card trick, because everybody loves card tricks, right? Then we got one more big trick, and we will move on to we'll get ready for the next guest. So what I need from you, I need somebody to think of a card. Don't go with the Joker, please. But think of a card, any card you want. I have the jumbo deck of cards. I'm gonna take take the deck of cards out. And is this Dice Botch? Are you still there with me? And yes, obviously you can't see the cards in my hand because I'm holding an invisible deck of cards at the moment. But is anybody with me? Because this trick really won't work if I don't have a little bit of live audience participation. For that matter, the next one ain't gonna work so well without some audience participation. Anyone alive out there? Someone with a pulse? Bueller. I hope so, because the next thing I got in mind for you great folks, is actually quite, I think, a nice trick. And it's one I just purchased specifically for this convention, so I'm really looking forward to showing it off. 1 second. So hopefully I can get at least one or two people with pulses in the chat that we can do this with. I might be able to make the second one work without an audience, I suppose. But this one, the card trick definitely isn't going to work without somebody. Though I suppose I can always pick on the next guest if no one shows up, but probably that won't be the best solution to this situation. Okay, so we're going to move right along. And this is the new effect I picked up. So we have a slate. Just like the sort of slates that kids used to use in the old days at school. You do a math problem on the slate, and then you can hold it up and show the teacher. One or two of the people watching may have some idea of what I'm talking about. Though we didn't even do this when I was a kid, so it's a little older than that, I think. But with that slate comes another slate. You can see, without anything on either side of it. Two slates, blank on both sides. Now, there's a way that slates like this have been used, other than by school students to show their math answers to the teacher. Or, of course, it's basically blackboard, a small blackboard. So it's like those blackboards that many of you, like myself, probably did use in school. But the other way that they've been used throughout history is as a way to communicate with the dead. We're going to try and reach somebody who's passed. Now, to do this properly, they're going to need something to write with, aren't they? So I dropped the piece of chalk in there. So who are we going to talk to? What dead person out there might be willing to say hello? Originally, if there was a little bit more life in the audience, I was going to have you make suggestions, write them down, stick them in a bowl, pick one out at random, and see what happened. So instead, we're going to try something a little different. I want you all to think of somebody famous who's passed away. Not just anyone famous, because we need to focus on somebody specific. And if we have the entire internet focusing on different dead people, this isn't going to work. Either we're going to get a lot of scribble scrabble all over the boards, or nothing's going to happen. So what I want you to think about is a magician who's passed away. In fact, let's go for broke and go for a really famous magician. The most famous magician you can think of who's passed away. Argue maybe even the greatest. Who do you think is the greatest magician of all time? Who's no longer with us. So keep in mind, you can't think of me, because as good a magician as I may be, I'm still with us. I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. I'm getting better. There are so many great magicians throughout history you could be thinking of. There's Jean Robert Houdin, the magician who stopped a war between the French and the Algiers. There's Slidini, the great the great sleight of hand artist. There's Harry Blackstone Sr. and Jr., two great magicians. But really focus in on somebody really famous, somebody that everyone would know. If any of you are like me, hopefully somebody out there is thinking of the great debunker of spiritualists that mediums have been trying to reach ever since his death in the early 20th century. And many people have claimed to speak to this man without providing any evidence that they have done so. Let's see if we can get a message from the legend himself, the greatest magician to ever live or die, Harry Houdini. So I showed you at the beginning of this trick that the slates were blank. If everything has gone according to plan, there'll be a message on the inside. The piece of chalk I dropped in case you didn't see that. And maybe you guys were thinking of somebody else because it looks like somebody tried to write something on the other slide. But if you can't read it, Houdini. Houdini. This isn't obviously the perfect way to do this trick. Like I said, would it be more impressive to have picked the name at random and had that appear? But I'm expecting at least some of you, when I ask you to think of the greatest magician of all time, thought of Harry. And again, I want to point out, it's a pretty ordinary slate. If you guys were here, and obviously you're not, I could hand this to you and let you examine it for trapdoors, secret compartments, all that kind of thing. Now, I want to make something very, very clear because this is important. This is extremely important. I am a magician. I practice sleight of hand and illusion. I am not a medium. I am not a psychic. I don't talk to dead people. Everything I've just done, and hopefully you've enjoyed some of it. Hopefully some of it might even have confused you. But everything I did, the slates, I need to get some, like a towel, damp towel or something to clear that up. I'll do that maybe while the next person's on. But everything I've done has an explanation. I do not see anything wrong with the art of magic. I do not see anything immoral about doing tricks or even claim that the tricks are demonstrations of psychic ability. What I do find immoral is using the arts of the magician to trick people into thinking you can really talk to their past loved ones. That is a scam that has been running for hundreds of years, and it has cost a great deal of people money, time, and even some cases perhaps their psychological stability. I don't approve of that. These are illusions, these are effects. These are meant to be fun. These are not meant to be taken seriously. If I wanted to actually try to talk to a dead person, I'd be breaking out my audio recorder and trying to do it that way. I would not be using slates and things of that nature. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's gone for about 40 minutes. I'd hope to go slightly longer, but again, without a little bit of audience participation, there's just some tricks that we're just not going to work. I hope you've enjoyed it, and keep in mind that this is the beginning of the day, not the end of the day. This is the second day of the convention, not the only day of the. This is not the last big thing before we call it a day. I'm going to go over real quick the schedule for today, and then we are going to have a brief break while I get this back to the correct channel on YouTube, and we'll go from there. So keep in mind today's schedule. It is currently 12:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for anyone who's not in the Eastern Time Zone. The next people coming up after I get everything sorted is going to be Lilith Lauren, bear in mind. Lilith is a pagan priestess. She is a storyteller. She's a writer. She's a dancer. She has many wonderful skills. I have the deepest respect for her. Bear in mind is also a very talented writer. He's written a really cool book. I think he's even written a second one now. That's humorous, but in sincere and serious take and look at the Book of Genesis. And he was last I had spoken to him about. He was at least working on a similar book about Exodus. And it's biblically sound. It's researched. It's not just somebody's making fun of religion. It's a sincere look at them. At 2:00, we're going to have my friend Baron and frequent co-host Baron Voltage on. For those of you who don't know, Baron Voltage is a small medium at large, as he likes to put it, hypnotist. In fact, he's a member of the League of Ethical Erotic Evil Hypnotists. But he's going to be doing a discussion of fear and the horrors of the human mind, while pointing out where you can find these in literature. At 3 p.m., I am proud to say that everyone who's been involved in this convention so far and who's going to be involved today, I would call a friend. But we're going to have Soros the Skeptic. Soros has a YouTube channel, very different than my own, but we have definitely have a mutual respect going. He does a lot of commentary on religious topics, particularly combating things like young Earth creationism and religious intolerance. He's also talked about questions of ethics. He's also a gamer, and he does a lot of things. If you don't know Source's channel, I highly recommend checking him out. He has also been a guest on the show in the past. 4:00, we're going to have Brian McKinley, the godfather of vampire thrillers, on. He is the author of Ancient Blood, Ancient Enemies, and Drawing Dead. It's a series of books about the vampires that hide among us. I'll summarize them briefly. The way I see them is the first book, Ancient Blood, is a vampire geek finds the real things, as it were. The second book is Vampire Gangsters, in the classic era of Lucky Luciano and all of that. And then the third book, the third of the three books that I've mentioned so far, he has more on the way. Ancient is the vampire geek turned vampire from the first book, among other things, going to eating disorders meeting of Readers Anonymous, I want to say. They're a great series of books. I recommend checking them out. There will be links in the description of his video to them. And then at 5:00, Brian will be sticking with us, and we'll be having Baron Voltage, John French, and Patrick Thomas, and myself all joining in together to do a discussion of vampires. In Myth and Media, Brian, of course, has obviously written vampire fiction. John French has written vampire fiction. Patrick Thomas has written vampire fiction. A lot of Baron's hypnotism involves vampirism in various ways. And yeah, I don't have the big claim to fame, but I'm a vampire geek. And it's my convention. I want in. So I'll be there too. And then we'll be at 6:00 today. All good things must come to an end. So 6 p.m. today, I'll be closing it out, giving a big thank you to all the people who made this amazing event possible. Because believe me when I tell you, there is no way on this earth or any other earth I could have done this without the help I've had. But okay, that's that. I'm going to be shutting the stream down. Please make sure to join us as we move back to the correct channel, and you'll find the next video and all future videos today on Wrath of Khan. If you're watching this in the future and are confused of why I'm saying that, it's because I originally put this on the Paranormal Encyclopedia page, and I had to switch back to Wrath of Khan where I should have been to begin with. So again, stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute in the proper place.